Welcome to the deep dive. Today, wow, we're plunging into just a whirlwind of headlines from India. I mean, it's a nation that seems to be in constant, vibrant motion.
It really does.
You've got everything from, the sheer dynamism of its sports arenas to the high-stakes world of its judiciary. And then there's the tragic realities of aviation, the cutting edge of deep-sea exploration, and that intricate dance of international relations. It's really a snapshot of a country facing these complex challenges, while at the same time achieving some truly remarkable feats.
Yeah, absolutely.
Our mission for you today is, well, to cut through the noise. We've taken a stack of sources, a whole collection of today's top stories, and we're going to dive deep. We want to extract the most important nuggets of knowledge and insight. Think of it as your shortcut, kind of, to being incredibly well-informed on what's really driving conversations and, well, shaping the future in India right now.
And what's particularly compelling, I think, about today's headlines is just how much ground we cover
Yeah.
in a single day. These aren't just, isolated incidents.
No.
They really reveal these interconnected threads about India's aspirations, its ongoing struggles, and its evolving global role.
Yeah.
We'll try and help you connect those dots.
Yeah.
Seeing the ripple effects from, say, a cricket pitch all the way to a Supreme Court hearing, or from a pharmaceutical breakthrough to, well, a frankly bizarre criminal enterprise.
Chuckles slightly. Right.
And from delicate diplomacy right down to the very depths of the ocean. It's a truly panoramic view we're getting today.
Absolutely. And we're going to explore a range of topics that really showcase this multifaceted nature of India. We'll begin on the cricket pitch, dissecting a crucial match and a potentially game-changing injury. Then we'll move into a really high-stakes legal battle, one that raises some fundamental questions about justice itself.
Yeah, that's a big one.
From there, we'll shift to a deeply sensitive aviation tragedy, which seems to be exposing some systemic issues in disaster response.
Unfortunately, yes.
We'll also look at the future of medicine, India's push into generic obesity drugs. And then, maybe the most unbelievable story of the day. This bizarre criminal enterprise, almost straight out of a spy novel.
Laugh softly.
Yeah.
That one's something else.
We'll also examine the delicate balance of diplomacy as India navigates some complex international relations, touch upon political sparring on the global stage, and discuss everyday economic realities faced by citizens.
Right, the ground level stuff.
And we'll highlight the tech revolution sweeping through tax collection, explore groundbreaking science delving into the ocean's depths, and finally, look at regulatory battles within India's, well, booming e-commerce sector.
So a lot to cover.
It's quite the journey we have planned for you. So let's get started. First up, let's head straight to the pitch. Specifically, day one of the fourth test match between India and England at Old Trafford. Now, this is a crucial encounter for the series, right? England hoping to secure it on their home turf.
Absolutely. High stakes.
India started with some initial excitement, a strong opening stand, actually, but the day ultimately ended with some significant drama and a major setback.
That's right.
So India finished day one at 264 for 4, which, on paper doesn't sound terrible, especially given the conditions, maybe.
Could be worse, yeah.
However, the headline news was undoubtedly the injury to Rishabh Pant. He retired hurt on a pretty dynamic 37 after a foot injury, attempting one of his characteristic reverse sweeps.
Typical Pant trying something audacious.
Exactly. And that leaves his status for the remainder of this crucial match, and maybe even the entire series, completely up in the air.
That's a huge blow.
It immediately cast this long shadow over what was actually looking like a promising start for India.
Definitely changes the complexion of the game.
Earlier in the day, India had indeed enjoyed a pretty solid foundation. Opener KL Rahul and the aggressive Yashasvi Jaiswal put together a commanding opening partnership. They reached 78 for no loss by lunch.
A really good start, yeah. Blunted the new ball.
Jaiswal eventually departed for a well-made 58. Caught at second slip off the bowling of England's returning spinner Liam Dawson.
Dawson, back after 8 years, right?
Yeah.
Made an impact straight away.
Yeah. And Rahul followed shortly after, dismissed for 46, edging a delivery from the, well, seasoned veteran Chris Wokes.
Wokes is always dangerous in English conditions.
Sai Sudarsan, though, he truly anchored the innings for India. Played a really gritty knock of 61 off 134 balls.
Much needed stability there.
He had a moment of luck early on, mind you. England wicketkeeper Jamie Smith dropped a pretty straightforward catch when Sudarsan was on just 20.
Oh, that could prove costly for England.
Could well do. But Sudharsan eventually misread a hook shot and was dismissed. Shubman Gill, unfortunately, continued his lean patch, dismissed leg before wicket for just 12 by England captain Ben Stokes.
Yeah, Gill's form is becoming a real worry for India as a 4 innings without a 50 now.
It is. So, as the day drew to a close, Ravindra Jadeja and Shardul Thakur were both unbeaten on 19, facing the, well, daunting task of rebuilding the innings and pushing India toward a respectable first innings total.
A lot rests on their shoulders now, especially with the pants situation.
Absolutely.
Now, England's strategic decision for this match was quite a bold one, right from the coin toss.
Putting India in.
Jack. Despite historical precedents at Old Trafford often favoring batting first, Captain Ben Stokes elected to bowl. Now, this is a calculated risk, obviously driven by the persistent overcast conditions.
Here's hoping for some swing.
Hoping for early swing and seam movement, yeah, that could exploit India's top order. Their aim, of course, was to seize the initiative and secure the 5-match series, put India under immediate pressure.
And it looked like it might backfire early on.
For a while, it really did seem India's openers had blunted that strategy. However, after India's strong start through lunch, England truly demonstrated their resilience and, tactical nous in the afternoon session.
They really clawed back.
They did. They clawed their way back, claiming 3 crucial wickets for just 36 runs. That severely stifled India's momentum and turned the tide quite significantly.
And key bowlers stepped up.
Yeah, bowlers like Liam Dawson, playing his first test in 8 years, as we said, dismissed Jaiswal, showing his value. And veteran Chris Wokes found his rhythm to get Rahul. This impressive comeback ensured that England's decision to bowl Faust, despite those initial risks, now appears quite balanced. The match is finally poised as we head into day 2.
The real pivot point here, though, feels like the impact of Rishabh Pant's injury. I mean, he was batting so effectively, injecting that typical dynamism into India's innings before that unfortunate foot injury.
Really was starting to accelerate.
Sai Sudharsan himself acknowledged the potential blow, saying, he was batting really well. We'll have to do our best to negotiate the loss if he doesn't return. This isn't just about a player being off the field. It's about the very heart of India's aggressive baseball countering strategy. His fearless approach, his ability to change the game in an instant, it often dictates the emotional rhythm of the entire team.
Absolutely. He's a game changer.
So what does his potential absence mean for day 2, and maybe more broadly for the strategic landscape of the whole series?
That's a really astute observation. Because beyond the raw scoreboard numbers, Rishabh Pant's potential absence is a profound variable. It's not merely for this particular match, but for the psychological and tactical tenor of the Indian side.
Yeah.
His dynamic batting, his aggressive intent, and let's not forget, his leadership from behind the stumps, they're incredibly valuable assets.
True.
If he can't return, it forces India to fundamentally reevaluate their batting philosophy, at least for this innings. They might be compelled to adopt a more conservative, perhaps, but potentially resilient, lower-order stand.
Digging in, basically.
Exactly. The real test won't just be the runs they score without him, but how they manage the sort of emotional vacuum his absence creates, especially if the match gets tight. It's a leadership challenge as much as a batting one. The series itself, as you said, it hangs in the balance. And this injury just adds another layer of uncertainty that makes the next day's play even more critically poised for both teams. A strong performance from India's remaining batters, despite this setback, could very well tilt the series back in their favor, but it's a big ask.
A very big ask. Okay. From the cricket pitch, we now pivot sharply to a critical legal development, one that has, gripped India's attention. The Supreme Court hearing on the 2006 Mumbai train blasts case.
A hugely significant case.
This isn't just another legal proceeding. It feels like a profound moment for justice, for accountability, and for the integrity of the investigative process in India.
All of those things, yeah.
So the core issue at hand is the Maharashtra government's urgent plea. They're challenging the Bombay High Court's acquittal of 12 individuals accused in those horrific bombings that killed over 180 people and injured hundreds.
A devastating attack.
This case has been such a long, painful chapter for the nation, and the Supreme Court is now grappling with the state's request to stay these acquittals, essentially putting them on hold while the legal battle continues.
Right, and this immediately raises a really significant question about the rarest of rare criteria. Now, in Indian jurisprudence, This phrase typically refers to an exceptionally unusual or critical situation demanding extraordinary judicial intervention, right? Often associated with capital punishment.
Exactly.
Chief Justice B.R. Gavai described a stay on an acquittal as falling into this category. He questioned the sheer necessity of such an urgent intervention, particularly given that 8 of the accused had already been released.
So the bar is incredibly high to reverse an acquittal like this.
Extremely high. This puts a stark spotlight on a fundamental principle of justice: the presumption of innocence and the exceptionally high bar required to reverse a lower court's acquittal. The debate here isn't just about this specific case, it's about the very foundations of how justice is administered and how deeply higher courts should intervene in appellate judgments of acquittal, especially in these complex terror cases.
And the Bombay High Court's rationale for its acquittal was, well, extraordinarily detailed and highly critical of the prosecution's handling of the case.
Very critical.
It essentially reversed a 2009 trial court verdict that had previously sentenced 5 individuals to death and 7 to life imprisonment.
Complete reversal.
The High Court concluded that the prosecution utterly failed to substantiate its charges. They expressed significant, almost unprecedented skepticism over the credibility of the entire investigative process.
That's strong language from a high court. Utterly failed.
It is. They made several damning observations. For instance, they highlighted abnormal, long gaps in witness testimony. Several witnesses identified accused after remaining silent for years, some even over 4 years, without adequate explanation for their sudden recollections.
That's always a red flag in investigations, those kinds of gaps.
Absolutely. Furthermore, the reliability of some testimonies was deeply doubted. One witness, for example, was found to have deposed in multiple unrelated cases, raising questions about their credibility across the board.
Sort of professional witness.
Potentially. While others just couldn't justify their sudden, convenient recollections of events years later, there were also significant procedural lapses noted, like not all witnesses being examined, and key forensic evidence, including the explosive RDX not being conclusively handled or linked by the Forensic Science Laboratory.
Wow. So issues with witnesses and forensics.
And perhaps most disturbing were the allegations of torture. The court flagged potential coercion by anti-terrorism squad, or ATS, officials, and institutional pressure to deliver swift results in the immediate aftermath of such a horrific attack.
That's a very serious finding.
These observations paint a chilling picture, really, of a potentially deeply flawed investigative process where the pursuit of swift justice might have compromised due process.
In stark contrast, though, the state's stance, articulated through Maharashtra's counsel, argued vehemently that this matter absolutely fits the rarest of rare criteria. They believe it justifies a stay despite that high judicial bar.
They're pushing back hard.
Very hard. Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis himself publicly labeled the High Court's acquittal shocking, signaling the state's unwavering intent to challenge it and pursue justice for the victims and their families. This demonstrates the immense political and public pressure on the state government, doesn't it? To ensure that those responsible for such a heinous act are indeed brought to justice, even if it means challenging judicial findings that point to these procedural and evidentiary failures. It really highlights the tension between public demand for justice and the strict legal requirements for proof beyond reasonable doubt.
So, for you, the listener, this case really transcends the immediate legal outcome. It underscores profound concerns about investigative integrity and the judicial thresholds in high-profile terror prosecutions, especially in a nation grappling with persistent threats. It's a powerful illustration of the justice system at work and the immense challenges of achieving definitive conclusions in such complex and emotionally charged cases, particularly when the credibility of evidence and witness testimony comes under such intense scrutiny. This ongoing debate about the 2006 Mumbai blasts truly makes you contemplate the delicate balance, right? Between swiftly bringing perpetrators to justice and diligently ensuring due process and a fair trial for all.
It's a fundamental challenge for any justice system.
Okay, now let's transition to a deeply sensitive issue, one that has unfolded in the wake of the Air India Flight 171 crash. This crisis touches on both profound human tragedy and critical technical and safety concerns that demand immediate attention.
A truly heartbreaking situation.
The heart-wrenching reality here is that multiple British families have received incorrect human remains following the devastating June 12 crash near Ahmedabad. I mean, just imagine the agony.
Unthinkable.
One family had to cancel a funeral after discovering the body wasn't their relative. Another received commingled remains, meaning parts of different individuals.
Oh, that's just horrific.
Aviation lawyer James Healy-Pratt, who represents affected UK families, has highlighted that this issue has persisted for weeks. It's causing immense, unimaginable distress, confusion, and further anguish for bereaved relatives who are already grappling with profound loss.
It's compounding the tragedy.
This is not merely a logistical error, it's a profound failure in post-crash protocols that compounds an already unbearable tragedy. It violates the basic human right to mourn with dignity.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the scale. The human toll of this tragedy is immense. 261 fatalities. That's 242 passengers and crew and 19 innocent people on the ground.
Just devastating.
Among these, a significant number, 52, were British citizens. These widespread repatriation errors cast an extremely dark shadow on post-crash protocols and accountability. Beyond the immediate grief, it speaks to a systemic failure in a process that is meant to provide closure and dignity to the victims and their families.
Yeah.
The magnitude of this error, affecting multiple families, demands a thorough, transparent, and immediate investigation into how such a fundamental process could go so terribly wrong. It raises serious questions about international cooperation and standardized procedures in managing mass casualty incidents like this.
In terms of official response and diplomatic pressure, well, formal identification of the remains falls under Indian jurisdiction. However, UK authorities have pledged their full support amid the growing outrage and public outcry.
As they should.
The issue has escalated to such a level that Prime Minister Keir Starmer is now expected to raise this deeply sensitive matter directly with Indian counterpart Narendra Modi. That underscores the significant diplomatic weight and urgency of rectifying these errors and ensuring accountability.
That high-level intervention is necessary now, clearly.
It highlights the international dimension of such tragedy and the imperative for nations to collaborate effectively in its aftermath.
And then there's the equally critical technical side of the crash itself, which is, understandably, under intense scrutiny. Preliminary findings from India's Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau, the AAIB, suggest critical errors by the lead pilot, Captain Sumit Savarwal.
Right, what are they saying?
The serious, chilling allegation is that fuel control switches, which are absolutely vital for regulating engine fuel flow, were allegedly turned off seconds after takeoff.
Yeah.
And then, just as mysteriously, reactivated shortly thereafter.
Turned off after takeoff? That sounds surreal.
Exactly. This sequence of events is being investigated as a possible contributing factor to the crash. During these critical, chaotic moments, the co-pilot, Clive Cunder, was reportedly occupied managing other aspects of the aircraft, which adds another layer of complexity to the circumstances surrounding this horrific accident.
Wow.
This raises an important question, doesn't it? About pilot procedures, checklist adherence, and how quickly such critical errors can unfold and compound in a high-pressure environment like takeoff. It speaks to the human element at the very heart of aviation safety.
This deeply disturbing preliminary finding has naturally led to a swift regulatory and industry response. India's aviation regulator has proactively ordered immediate inspections of switch-locking mechanisms across multiple Boeing models.
That's a good, quick response.
Demonstrating a commendable reactive stance to prevent any future incidents. Air India, for its part, has confirmed that it has completed checks on its entire Boeing 787 fleet and has reported no issues, assuring the public of its fleet's safety.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Boeing, the aircraft manufacturer, maintains that these switches are inherently safe, aligning with a 2018 FAA bulletin that merely urged caution regarding their operation.
So some disagreement there, potentially, or at least different nuances.
Seems like it. So while the immediate cause is still under investigation, the entire industry is reacting to ensure that such a sequence of events, if it did indeed contribute, can never recur.
In this unfortunate situation, both the crash and the subsequent mishandling of remains, it really highlights broader implications beyond the immediate tragedy. It compels us to ask, what systemic vulnerabilities in disaster response and international aviation practices are being exposed by these events? The profound mishandling of human remains, coupled with the serious technical allegations, points to an urgent need for robust, internationally standardized protocols for post-crash management and investigation, as well as clear, universally adopted procedures for pilot training and cockpit management.
These things need to be watertight.
Exactly. Families, quite rightly, demand answers and justice for the indignities suffered. Aviation safety experts are calling for comprehensive procedural reform, making transparency, accountability, and stringent oversight absolutely critical across global aviation. The situation remains emotionally charged and diplomatically sensitive, underscoring the vital importance of clear communication, proper procedures, and unwavering accountability across borders in such dire circumstances.
Absolutely critical. Okay, let's shift gears completely now. Moving from human tragedy and aviation safety to the future of global health and an exciting development in the pharmaceutical world. India's pharmaceutical giant, Dr. Reddy's Laboratories, is poised to dramatically disrupt the, well, burgeoning global obesity drug market.
This is a big move.
The ambition from Dr. Reddy's is truly significant and potentially game-changing. They plan to launch generic obesity drugs across an impressive 87 countries starting in 2026.
Wow, 87 countries.
This aggressive move is strategically timed to tap into a global market that is projected to reach an astonishing $150 billion by the early 2030s, fueled by rising obesity rates worldwide. This isn't just about a new product, it's about making potentially life-changing medication accessible on an unprecedented scale.
Yeah, and this development isn't just about a single drug or a single company, is it? This is about fundamentally reshaping accessibility and pricing in the obesity drug segment worldwide. A market long dominated by high-cost branded medications like Wegovy and Ozempic.
Which are incredibly expensive.
Incredibly expensive, yeah. Dr. Reddy's will begin by introducing a lower-cost version of semaglutide, which, as you know, is the active ingredient in those Novo Nordisk drugs. They plan to roll this out initially in countries like Canada, India, Brazil, and Turkey, strategically waiting for patent expiries in those specific regions. This aggressive push into generics could be a game-changer for millions globally who might not otherwise be able to afford these life-altering treatments. It could potentially democratize access to effective obesity management.
And their market expansion plans certainly don't stop there, right? While they'll start in those countries you mentioned, access to the lucrative Western markets like the US and Europe is projected to become possible for Dr. Reddy's between 2029 and 2033 as those respective patents expire.
So a phased rollout based on patents.
Exactly. Financially, Dr. Reddy's expects these generics to generate hundreds of millions of dollars in annual sales, which is a clear and compelling indication of the immense scale of the opportunity they're pursuing and the significant impact it could have on their bottom line.
And the patent landscape, the level of competition in this space, it's incredibly intense. Novo Nordisk, the current market leader, filed a patent infringement lawsuit against Dr. Reddy's back in May, clearly trying to protect its lucrative market share.
Trying to hold the line.
Trying to hold the line, yeah. However, it's crucial to note that semaglutide's patent is indeed set to expire in several key jurisdictions next year, including India in March, which explains Dr. Reddy's aggressive timeline and strategic positioning.
So the clock is ticking for Novo Nordisk in some places.
It is. And the competition isn't just international. Within India, other major pharmaceutical firms, Cipla, Biocon, Lupin, Sun Pharma, they also intend to release similar generic products, so there's going to be a domestic race to the market as well.
So potentially driving prices down even further.
That's the hope for patients, absolutely. For clarity, these drugs are known as GLP-1 receptor agonists. They work by mimicking a natural hormone, regulating blood sugar, slowing digestion, helping users feel full longer, ultimately aiding significantly in weight management and diabetes control. This fiercely competitive environment is ultimately excellent news for patients, as it should drive down prices and increase availability globally.
And this broad strategy from Dr. Reddy's comes as Novo Nordisk itself only just launched its branded Wegovy in India last month, right? Following Eli Lilly's rollout of Mounjaro.
Yeah, the big players are moving into India too.
So in response to this competitive landscape and the growing global demand, Dr. Reddy's has outlined even broader ambitions. They plan to introduce a staggering 26 GLP-1 drugs over the next decade.
26? That's a huge commitment.
It signals a deep, long-term commitment to this rapidly expanding therapeutic area and really solidifying their position as a major player.
And what truly stands out about this whole development is India's rapidly evolving role as a pivotal player in global generic drug manufacturing. I mean, we know India as the pharmacy of the world, but this takes it to another level.
Yeah.
This competitive race highlights strategic positioning amid rapidly shifting patent landscapes, increased global obesity awareness, and expanding international demand for affordable treatments. As regulatory hurdles are addressed and crucial patents expire, the mass commercialization of these generics by Indian firms could dramatically reshape accessibility and pricing in the obesity drug segment worldwide.
Mm.
This isn't just a business story. This could fundamentally change the game for millions, making advanced treatments for obesity and diabetes more affordable and widely available,
Mm.
ultimately improving public health on a global scale, and, yeah, solidifying India's position.
A really significant development to watch. Okay, from the complexities of global pharma, we now plunge into an almost unbelievable crime story, one that sounds like it was pulled straight from a movie script. The curious case of the fake Indian embassy.
Tuckles. This one is just wild.
It really makes you shake your head in disbelief, doesn't it?
It really does.
The audacious deception at the heart of this story involves a 47-year-old man named Harsh Vardhan Jain, arrested for allegedly running a completely fake embassy out of a rented residential building near New Delhi.
Not even a commercial property, a residential building.
Exactly. It's truly a sophisticated, elaborate con that targeted unsuspecting individuals.
And let's unpack the sheer audacity of this. The authorities didn't just find a few suspicious documents, right? They found 4 luxury vehicles complete with counterfeit diplomatic plates brazenly parked outside.
Diplomatic plates on luxury cars just sitting there.
Inside, they recovered $4.5 million. That's roughly $52,000 in cash, along with various foreign currencies. The sheer scale and meticulous detail of this impersonation is just striking. It indicates a well-planned and possibly long-running operation designed to project an air of complete legitimacy.
And his modus operandi. Jain impersonated an ambassador, leveraging this fabricated diplomatic cover to deceive people by promising highly sought-after overseas employment.
Preying on people's hopes for a better life abroad.
Exactly. And to add to the absurdity, perhaps to confuse those who might question his credentials, he claimed affiliations with incredibly obscure, largely unrecognized entities like Seborga and Westartica.
Seborga and Westartica. I mean, are those even real places?
They're essentially micronations, self-proclaimed entities with no real international diplomatic standing. It's a detail so bizarre, it almost makes the story even more captivating.
It adds a layer of almost surreal comedy to a serious crime.
It does, and the elaborate staging didn't stop there. Police recovered an astonishing array of fake seals, purportedly from India's foreign ministry and over 30 other countries.
30 countries.
Alongside doctored photos meticulously showing Jain with various global leaders, all used to bolster his fabricated credentials and create a convincing facade.
Wow. The effort involved is incredible.
The premises themselves were meticulously decorated with multiple international flags, adding to the illusion of legitimacy and making it seem like a genuine diplomatic mission operating out of, well, a house. It's incredible how much effort and detail went into crafting this elaborate facade, clearly designed to prey on the hopes and desperation of job seekers.
And Senior Officer Sushil Goel from Uttar Pradesh's Special Task Force has disclosed that Jain is suspected of not just running this scam, but also laundering illicit funds through shell companies overseas.
So it goes deeper.
It indicates a much larger criminal network potentially at play. He now faces a litany of serious charges, including forgery, impersonation, possession of fake documents, and financial fraud. This isn't just a petty scam. It appears to be a far-reaching criminal enterprise that leveraged diplomatic imagery for illicit gain.
This curious case immediately prompts an important inquiry, doesn't it, into vulnerabilities within diplomatic oversight and document verification protocols globally.
Absolutely. How can this go on?
The sheer scale and detail of Jain's impersonation, combined with the physical staging and use of counterfeit assets, strongly suggest a long-running operation that could possibly extend into international jurisdictions, highlighting a gap in the current systems.
You'd think diplomatic plates would trigger some checks.
You would. This incident could, and arguably should, prompt regulatory reforms to prevent similar impersonation schemes, especially those that exploit diplomatic imagery and prey on vulnerable job seekers desperate for opportunities abroad. It's a stark reminder, really. If something sounds too good to be true, especially when it involves promises of easy pathways to overseas employment through unofficial channels, it probably is.
Definitely a cautionary tale.
Okay, next, let's transition to a truly significant diplomatic thawing. India has officially resumed tourist visa issuance for Chinese nationals after a substantial 5-year freeze.
This is a big deal in that relationship.
It is, considering the recent, often tense history between these two Asian giants.
Very tense.
The context of this freeze is crucial to understanding its significance, right? It was directly triggered by the deadly 2020 Galwan Valley clash in eastern Ladakh. That violent border confrontation led to casualties on both sides and a dramatic escalation in tensions.
A real low point.
This incident precipitated a significant freeze in diplomatic, trade, and people-to-people exchanges. In immediate response, India took strong measures, banning a plethora of Chinese apps, curtailing Chinese investments, and, as we're discussing now, suspending visas for Chinese travelers, including tourists.
Strong countermeasures.
These moves signaled a broader recalibration of India's strategic posture toward China, aiming to push back against perceived aggression.
And what's truly intriguing about this development now is that this move, formally announced by India's embassy in China, marks a key diplomatic step amid ongoing, albeit slow, efforts to normalize what have been very strained bilateral ties.
A step towards normalcy.
Beijing, for its part, wasted no time in welcoming the decision. They expressed readiness to deepen exchanges and enhance consultations with New Delhi. This indicates a mutual desire, perhaps, to de-escalate tensions and move towards a more constructive relationship, even if progress is cautious and incremental. It feels like a cautious olive branch being extended after years of frost.
And it's important to note this hasn't happened in a vacuum, right? There's been incremental, almost hesitant progress leading up to this.
Little steps along the way.
China itself earlier reinstated student and business visas for Indians in 2022 after lifting its stringent pandemic-related travel restrictions. More recently, in March, both nations agreed to resume direct flights. That's a concrete, practical step towards easing travel and connectivity.
Yeah, flights are important for business and people-to-people ties.
Furthermore, leaders have held multiple high-level meetings, including Prime Minister Narendra Modi and President Xi Jinping speaking in Russia last year, to explore confidence-building measures and discuss ways to manage border issues. So while this tourist visa resumption is a big headline, it's built on a series of smaller, often discrete steps towards normalization.
But while these signs of a thaw are encouraging, it's crucial to acknowledge that the core disputes stubbornly persist, particularly over that vast, disputed 3,800-kilometer border between the two countries.
Big elephant in the room.
Always. India's external affairs minister recently reiterated demands for complete troop withdrawal and a full resolution of the ongoing standoff in eastern Ladakh, emphasizing that border peace is a prerequisite for broader relationship normalization.
India's stance is firm on that.
China, meanwhile, continues to maintain its position on the border, indicating that while talks are progressing, key territorial and military concerns remain deeply unresolved. So, while tourist visas are back, signifying a willingness to ease people-to-people contact, the deeper, more complex issues that define their geopolitical rivalry are far from settled and will continue to be a source of tension.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener?
Well, the reinstatement of tourist visas, though largely symbolic given those unresolved border issues, may play a crucial role in helping rebuild trust and rekindle people-level engagement.
Could ease some tension, perhaps.
It's a cautious diplomatic dance aimed at stabilizing ties without diluting strategic priorities, especially regarding border security and India's territorial integrity. This move will undoubtedly serve as a litmus test for how both sides navigate post-conflict recovery and the lingering mutual suspicion. It's a small but significant step towards potentially normalizing relations, but one that's still fraught with underlying tensions and the weight of past confrontations.
A delicate balance indeed. Okay, moving on to another headline with significant international and domestic political implications. Former U.S. President Donald Trump's repeated and, frankly, quite audacious claims about brokering peace between India and Pakistan.
Yes, this keeps coming up.
It does. This has quickly become a real political hot potato in India.
I bet.
The claim itself is quite grand. Trump has repeatedly stated that he prevented a potential nuclear conflict between India and Pakistan through strategic trade threats, essentially implying that his intervention single-handedly de-escalated a dangerous situation.
It's a bold assertion, to say the least, and one he's apparently quite fond of repeating on the campaign trail back in the U.S.
And what's truly remarkable here isn't just the claim itself, but the sheer frequency of its repetition. Congress MP Jairam Ramesh recently noted that Trump has reiterated this assertion an astounding 25 times over the past 73 days.
25 times.
Yeah.
A silver jubilee of assertions, as Ramesh put it.
Exactly. And what's particularly striking from an Indian perspective is that these repeated claims remain completely unaddressed by India's government, which is leading to considerable domestic political fallout and intense scrutiny from the opposition.
The silence is notable.
This silence has, predictably, drawn strong scrutiny from the opposition in India. Rahul Gandhi, prominent Congress MP and leader of the opposition, publicly questioned Trump's motivations, asking, why does he keep repeating this claim if there's no official acknowledgement?
A fair question.
Jairam Ramesh further escalated the criticism, directly targeting Prime Minister Narendra Modi's silence on the matter. Ramesh alleged the government is evading discussion on critical national security issues, including the recent Pahalgam terror attack and Operation Sindoor.
Raising other security concerns, too.
In a pointed post on X, formerly Twitter, Ramesh accused the government of ducking parliamentary debate, suggesting Modi prefers foreign travel and destabilizing democratic institutions over engaging in critical domestic discourse on matters of national security. Strong words.
Very strong words. And this situation immediately prompts a critical inquiry. Why is there no official confirmation? Despite Trump's numerous and consistent assertions, there is absolutely no official confirmation from either India or Pakistan substantiating his role in any such ceasefire or diplomatic intervention between the two nuclear-armed neighbors.
None whatsoever.
The silence from New Delhi, in particular, is deafening on one side, while the claims keep coming thick and fast on the other. This conspicuous lack of official acknowledgement fuels the domestic political debate, raises questions about transparency, and puts India in a diplomatically delicate position. Responding to a foreign leader's personal assertions about sensitive bilateral issues is always a tightrope walk, isn't it?
It really is. The broader political implications of this episode are quite significant for India's domestic landscape. It has heightened scrutiny over India's diplomatic transparency and its perceived reluctance to respond to foreign commentary on such sensitive bilateral issues.
Yeah.
The Congress Party is clearly leveraging Trump's assertions to highlight what it perceives as the Modi government's lack of accountability and clarity on national security matters, effectively using a foreign statement to fuel the dismissed political narrative. It's a powerful tool for the opposition to press the government for answers.
Absolutely. And zooming out, this ongoing episode reflects a complex intersection of international claims, domestic politics, and opposition pressure for greater transparency. It has reignited debates about executive responsibility and institutional engagement within India's political framework. Whether the government ultimately addresses Trump's comments directly or chooses to maintain its silence, the pressure from opposition leaders for formal dialogue and clarification in Parliament is likely to continue. It underscores growing demands for accountability and more robust engagement on key geopolitical issues that increasingly intersect with domestic governance and international diplomacy. It really shows how a statement from afar can resonate so deeply within a nation's political discourse. It certainly does. Okay, let's shift now to a more personal yet widely resonant social commentary, one that has sparked a significant debate in India. A Reddit post from a non-resident Indian, or NRI. This perspective offers a fascinating glimpse into changing economic and social realities.
The NRI perspective, always interesting.
The post's core message, starkly titled, "Never expected India became this much expensive and negligent," really captured attention and went viral. The user recounted a recent vacation home, expressing genuine shock at how costs have seemingly tripled even in small towns where their parents reside.
Tripled, even in small towns. That's striking.
It powerfully challenges a common ingrained assumption, right, that smaller towns and tier 2 cities in India remain significantly more affordable than the bustling metropolitan centers.
Yeah, that challenges the narrative. And let's unpack this sentiment. Beyond just the prices, the NRI criticized what they described as widespread public apathy, lamenting a perceived lack of common sense and civic awareness. The phrase, "no one cares about anything," truly captures a deep sense of disillusionment. That's quite a strong statement.
It is. It highlights a perceived decline in public etiquette, cleanliness, and general civic responsibility that many returning NRIs or even long-term residents also observe. It fosters a sense of frustration with the evolving social fabric. It's not just about money. It's about a perceived shift in societal values and public conduct.
And the post truly resonated widely, drew a flood of comments from users across India who echoed similar concerns. The discussions weren't just about inflation, but also about stagnant wages, especially for the average citizen.
So it hit a nerve.
It clearly struck a deep nerve with many who feel the relentless pinch of rising costs without a corresponding increase in their income or quality of life, leading to growing anxieties about affordability and economic stability for the middle and lower classes.
And economic explanations were offered by several commenters trying to make sense of the situation, highlighting a broader socioeconomic discourse. One user, for instance, blamed the software industry for paying 80% of U.S. salary to Indian workers, implicitly linking it to wage compression for other sectors and an overall inflationary effect on goods and services, particularly in urban and semi-urban areas.
Interesting theory.
Another commenter worried specifically about India's inflation management, comparing it unfavorably to the U.S.'s 2% benchmark, suggesting a lack of effective control over rising prices by the government. These comments illustrate the deep-seated economic anxieties that underlie the NRI's observations and point to a wider public concern about economic disparity and the purchasing power of the average Indian.
This whole discourse reveals broader anxieties, doesn't it? Around affordability, infrastructure quality, economic equity across India's urban and semi-urban landscapes. It directly challenges that long-held traditional assumption that smaller towns are sanctuaries of affordability compared to sprawling metropolitan areas. It highlights that the cost of living crisis isn't confined to major cities, but is permeating deeper into the country, affecting residents even in seemingly quieter locales. This is a critical point that often gets missed in broader economic analyses.
And it speaks to a larger theme among non-resident Indians, who are constantly navigating complex emotional and financial ties with their homeland. For many, a romanticized nostalgia for India often clashes sharply with evolving realities on the ground, leading to moments of profound shock, disappointment, and even alienation upon returning.
The reality check.
Exactly, the reality check. It's a conversation that highlights deepening tensions between pervasive cost inflation, shifting civic expectations, and the sometimes jarring experience of cultural return journeys in a rapidly evolving India. It's not just about money or prices, it's about a changing society, a grappling with development and the impact of rapid modernization on daily life and the collective psyche.
A really thought-provoking perspective. Okay, let's transition now to a truly significant modernization effort underway in India. Its tax department is dramatically intensifying its use of artificial intelligence and data analytics.
AI and taxes.
Interesting. Their ambitious goal to significantly expand the taxpayer base and, crucially, to combat fraud, especially in the ever-growing and often elusive realm of cryptocurrency transactions.
Crypto always a challenge for tax authorities.
This strategy wasn't just floated as an idea, it was officially confirmed by Ravi Agrawal, the respected chairman of the Central Board of Direct Taxes, or CBDT. He detailed this comprehensive approach in a July 24th interview marking Income Tax Day, underscoring it as a declared official policy with widespread implications.
So it's official policy now. And what's truly fascinating here is the incredibly robust foundation this initiative builds upon. Over the past decade, India has meticulously constructed a sophisticated digital infrastructure that systematically aggregates financial data from a myriad of reporting entities across the economy.
Like the GST network and other databases.
Exactly. This mature and integrated data ecosystem now allows for highly effective AI deployment for both tax enforcement and administration. It's not simply about having raw data. It's about having clean, integrated, and organized data that is ready for the deployment of powerful analytical tools. This makes it a truly advanced leap in governance.
And Agrawal emphasized that the department's approach is entirely focused on converting that vast reservoir of raw data into actionable intelligence. The aim is unequivocally clear: to significantly improve tax compliance and strengthen enforcement efforts, making the entire system far more efficient, transparent, and equitable for everyone involved.
Moving towards a smarter, more targeted approach.
Precisely.
And this initiative immediately prompts the question: how precisely will this advanced technology be deployed to achieve these goals? Well, the AI-driven system is designed to identify hidden income streams by cross-referencing various data points, flag suspicious financial behavior in real time, and target non-compliant individuals and entities with far greater precision than manual methods ever could.
So less random audits, more targeted interventions.
That seems to be the goal. One major area of particular interest, as mentioned, is cryptocurrency-related transactions, which have historically presented a significant challenge to traditional oversight mechanisms due to their decentralized and often anonymous nature. This AI-driven approach could fundamentally change how those transactions are monitored, tracked, and ultimately taxed, potentially closing a significant loophole.
That could have huge implications for the crypto space in India.
Potentially, yes.
The overarching goals are ambitious and far-reaching: enhance transparency and equity in tax administration while simultaneously boosting national revenues, all without placing additional arbitrary burdens on already compliant taxpayers.
That's the ideal balance.
And crucially, they're already seeing concrete results. AI integration has begun yielding tangible outcomes, detecting inconsistencies and fraudulent filings much more efficiently. This enables more targeted audits, moves beyond random checks, and allows for improved taxpayer profiling, streamlining the entire process. The system is expected to scale even further with ongoing technological investments, promising a significant modernization of India's tax framework.
And zooming out, this profound digital shift aligns perfectly with India's long-term modernization agenda for public services and governance across the board. It directly mirrors global trends where governments worldwide are increasingly leveraging data science, AI, machine learning for policy enforcement, financial regulation, robust fraud detection.
India's often been at the forefront of digital public infrastructure.
It has. This is a significant leap forward, not just for India, perhaps, but for the global paradigm of public administration. Experts suggest this could lead to deeper institutional reforms within the tax system and vastly increased scrutiny of unconventional asset classes like cryptocurrencies. Ultimately, this AI-enhanced model could fundamentally reshape how taxation functions in India, transforming it into a predictive, data-powered system with far-reaching implications for compliance, privacy, and fiscal accountability. It could potentially become a model for other developing nations.
Very significant indeed. Okay, from digital depths, we now dive quite literally into the ocean's depths. India has achieved a truly significant milestone in its ambitious deep ocean mission,
This is exciting stuff.
marking a crucial step in its scientific exploration and strategic capabilities. The achievement we're talking about is the successful development of the personnel sphere for the Matsiye 6000 submersible.
Mancia 6000.
This incredible vehicle is meticulously designed to carry humans to the astonishing depths of 6,000 meters. That's nearly 4 miles down, opening up a whole new, largely unexplored frontier for scientific discovery and resource assessment.
6,000 meters. The pressure down there is immense.
Unimaginable.
And what's truly remarkable here is the collaborative spirit that made this breakthrough possible. This wasn't just one agency working in isolation, was it?
No, it wasn't.
The Indian Space Research Organization, ISRO, which, as you know, is typically celebrated for its space endeavors, partnered synergistically with the National Institute of Ocean Technology, NIOT, which falls under the Ministry of Earth Sciences.
Space tech meets ocean tech.
Exactly. Together, they overcame immense material and engineering challenges, including an astonishing 700 trials specifically for the sphere's critical welding. This interagency collaboration is a powerful testament to India's growing scientific and engineering prowess, showcasing how cross-sector expertise can lead to monumental achievements.
Let's talk for a moment about the sheer engineering marvel that is this human-occupied vehicle, or HOV. It's designed specifically to endure that unimaginable extreme seafloor pressure and bone-chilling low temperatures found at those depths.
Like having multiple elephants standing on a postage stamp, that kind of pressure.
Right. To put that in perspective, 600 bar pressure. The core of it is a robust titanium sphere, measuring a remarkable 2,260 millimeters in diameter, with walls that are a robust 80 millimeter thick. That's roughly the width of a smartphone.
Thick walls needed.
The sphere was designed by ISRO's Vikram Sarabhai Space Center and meticulously fabricated using a high-strength titanium alloy, purpose-built to withstand that colossal 600 bar pressure and temperatures as low as 93 degrees C. It's an incredible feat of material science, where even a microscopic flaw could lead to catastrophic failure.
Absolutely zero margin for error. And this immediately raises a critical engineering question. How do you weld titanium at such scale and with such precision? Welding titanium, especially at this thickness and for such high-pressure applications, poses major hurdles due to the metal's inherent rigidity and sensitivity to contamination.
It's notoriously tricky.
Extremely tricky. ISRO's Liquid Propulsion Systems Center in Bengaluru was instrumental here. They undertook a significant upgrade of their electron beam welding, or EBW, facility from 15 kilowatts to a powerful 40 kilowatt capacity. They also developed customized infrastructure and cleaning systems specifically to support this intricate process, acknowledging the stringent requirements.
So building the tools to build the tool.
Precisely. The dedication is clear. After over 700 trials, the team achieved a successful 80-millimeter deep weld spanning an incredible 7,100 millimeters. And get this, it was executed continuously in just 32 minutes.
Wow, that's fast for such a complex weld.
It's incredibly fast and precise. This monumental achievement marks a national first for India in both scale and precision, showcasing their mastery of advanced manufacturing techniques for extreme environments.
And to ensure the utmost structural integrity and, of course, the absolute paramount passenger safety, ISRO significantly enhanced its X-ray radiography capabilities for advanced non-destructive evaluations, or NDE.
Checking for any hidden flaws.
This rigorous, meticulous testing is absolutely crucial for identifying any minute flaws or weaknesses in the sphere's construction, and it directly paves the way for the submersible's upcoming sea trials. They are leaving nothing to chance when it comes to human life in such extreme conditions.
As they absolutely must. And zooming out, the Matswaya 6000 project is a core and integral part of the Samudrayan initiative, which is a broader mission designed to significantly strengthen India's overall ocean exploration and resource assessment efforts.
Samudrayan, right.
Scheduled for realization by 2026, the submersible aims not only to explore previously inaccessible marine biodiversity, but also to critically assess resources such as nickel, cobalt, and rare earth elements vital for future technologies like electric vehicles and advanced electronics.
Strategic minerals.
Very strategic minerals. This monumental development places India among a select, elite group of nations, including the U.S., Russia, China, France, and Japan, capable of manned deep-sea exploration. This capability advances both India's scientific research and its strategic access to vital underwater resources, positioning it as a significant player in the burgeoning blue economy and potentially reshaping future global supply chains and diplomatic leverage as terrestrial resources dwindle.
A huge step for India's scientific and strategic ambitions. Okay, concluding our deep dive today, let's look at the intensifying regulatory challenges currently facing India's booming e-commerce sector, a landscape that is both incredibly dynamic and fiercely competitive.
Always something happening in Indian e-commerce.
The latest development involves a formal complaint filed by India's Enforcement Directorate, the ED, a key financial crime agency, against the Walmart-backed fashion e-commerce firm, Myntra.
Myntra, a big player.
The allegation is significant. Myntra is accused of serious violations of foreign investment regulations under the Foreign Exchange Management Act, or FEMA. This isn't just a minor technicality, it's a direct challenge to their operational model.
Okay, so what are the specifics here? Authorities claim Myntra funneled over $191 million through a sophisticated related party scheme.
$191 million.
The accusation is that Myntra allegedly disguised direct retail operations as wholesale trade by channeling effectively all sales through Vector e-commerce, which is an entity entirely within its own corporate group.
Ah, the related party structure.
Exactly. This practice, according to the ED, directly contravenes India's specific rule that explicitly limits wholesale firms from selling more than 25% of their goods to related parties. It's a way of operating that allegedly skirts the spirit, if not the precise letter, of the foreign direct investment laws, aiming to bypass restrictions on foreign-backed, direct online retail.
So finding loopholes, allegedly.
That's the allegation. And this action against Myntra is not an isolated incident. It's part of a broader, concerted e-commerce crackdown underway in India. Similar investigations have previously targeted other global giants like Amazon and Flipkart, indicating a systematic approach.
Right, this has been bubbling for a while.
The government's stated aim here is clear: to protect small domestic retailers and prevent foreign-backed giants from effectively monopolizing consumer channels under what might be technically legal but strategically problematic frameworks. It's a national effort to ensure fair competition and protect local businesses.
And what's particularly striking here is Myntra's significant market position. It currently commands roughly half of India's fashion e-commerce market, making it a dominant player.
Half the market, that's huge.
And it's rapidly expanding into other lucrative areas like quick commerce, home goods, beauty, even social shopping through celebrity and influencer tie-ins.
Diversifying rapidly.
Despite the legal challenge, Myntra has publicly responded, stating that it has not yet received official documents, but has pledged full cooperation and commitment to legal compliance. This indicates they are prepared for a potential battle, but want to maintain a cooperative stance with regulators, emphasizing their adherence to the law.
Playing it carefully.
This development also carries significant geopolitical nuances, doesn't it? It's happening at a time when Indian officials are actively holding trade talks with the Trump administration.
Ah, linking back to Trump again.
Which has been quite vocal in pressuring India for full market access for American companies like Walmart and Amazon. India's own long-awaited comprehensive e-commerce policy remains delayed, likely due to these very sensitivities and the complex need to balance domestic interests and the protection of local industries with international trade demands and foreign investment. It's a real tightrope walk for policymakers.
Absolutely. And zooming out, the Munker case directly reflects growing scrutiny of the intricate business structures that foreign-backed platforms employ to potentially bypass retail restrictions in India. The outcome of this investigation could set a powerful precedent and significantly reshape how foreign-backed platforms navigate compliance, market access, and growth strategy within India's highly competitive and politically sensitive consumer landscape.
Big implications for FDI rules.
Huge. This raises an important overarching question about how countries, particularly large developing economies like India, balance the undeniable benefits of attracting foreign investment, which brings capital, technology, jobs, with the equally critical need to protect their domestic businesses and local ecosystems from potentially overwhelming competition. It's a complex balancing act for policymakers with far-reaching implications for the future of global e-commerce.
A very complex balancing act indeed. Wow. We've journeyed through a truly diverse set of headlines from India today. I mean, from the nail-biting drama on the cricket field to the intricate complexities of the courtroom, from the profound human and technical challenges of aviation to the pioneering efforts in deep-sea exploration, and from the nuances of international relations to the cutting edge of digital transformation in tax and e-commerce. You've really gotten, I hope, a truly comprehensive understanding of the multifaceted forces at play in India right now, reflecting its dynamic growth and, well, the challenges that come with it.
Yeah, and if we connect all these threads to the bigger picture, what truly stands out, I think, is India's multifaceted identity on the global stage. It's a nation of immense potential, grappling with both profound internal challenges and complex external pressures, while simultaneously pushing the boundaries of technology, science, and economic development.
Right.
These headlines are not just news items, are they? They are vibrant snapshots of a powerful transformation, reflecting a country that is confidently asserting itself while also navigating the complexities of rapid growth, societal evolution, and its increasingly prominent global role.
Absolutely. And as you go about your day, maybe consider this. How do these seemingly disparate events, a cricket injury, a court acquittal, a new generic drug, or a deep sea submersible, how do they ultimately reflect the interconnected ambitions, anxieties, and innovations shaping a nation of over 1 billion people? What larger story do they tell about the future of India and perhaps the trajectory of the world itself? Thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive.